Hey everybody, welcome out to the garage. Today we're going to be doing something completely different. We're going to be playing Mass Brutality. So, Mass Brutality, written by Scott Wainwright. And, oh, my lights are bouncing off there. Scott Wainwright, he has a YouTube channel called Let's Talk Tabletop. He's been a contributing writer for Bell, Lost Souls, Frontline Gaming. He is one of the guys who has been in and around the tabletop gaming scene for decades. And this is his latest version of his Brutality game. And you can see here in the back, he has written a lot of different Brutality games, starting off Brutality Skirmish, then we have Epic, Space. It goes across all the different genres of tabletop, or at least all the different scales. And this is what I was talking about last week, a 100% model agnostic game. See here, any genre, oh, can't talk, I'm an orc. Any genre, solo, co-op, or versus, it has rules for AI in here. And when he released this game, he sent me a message. He says, hey, I got a new game coming out. It looks like something you might enjoy. And I had actually been looking at the Brutality series for a while. And after he messaged me, I said, yeah, absolutely. Send me a book. I'll do a video on it. So this is a sponsored video because he did, as you can see, send me a book. And we are going to attempt to play a game. You guys know I'm an orc. I don't read all that great. So prepare to watch me get all kinds of stuff wrong, but we're going to have fun doing it. So we're going to go over the board first. This is the board. You play on a 3x6. So normally we have a 4x6. So I just ran a tape line because I'm not going to cut the board for this. And we have 5 objectives running through the middle. And because it is any genre, really the models are just kind of placeholders for what you build. So let's check out the armies. So here's one of the armies we're going to have today. I asked Uncle C which army he wanted to play, which one he thought he liked the most, and he said the Dark Elves. So here they are on the board. But the models don't really matter because this is entirely model agnostic. It is all about how you build your army. Every army in the game of Brutality is built on a module system. There are dozens of different types of modules. You just have to pick what your base module is that you're going to start from, and then you go from there. So for these, I have made, here is the list. We're going to go through some stuff here. Everything is going to be in guerrilla formations. Guerrilla formations just means that we're not ranked up like regiments. For the Dark Elf fighters here, we have 3 of these different units. They are 3 fighter modules apiece. And the different modules are 3 models apiece. So 9 models, 3 modules makes 1 unit. For the traits of these modules, because every unit gets 2 traits, I have +1 fighting skill and +1 willpower for these. They also get abilities depending on how many modules they have in the unit. So we have 3 different modules, we get 3 different abilities. So for them, I chose Strike Them Down, Anti-Personnel, and Parry. And because they are fighter modules to start off with, they come with Strike First. Then after that, we have 3 units of crossbows here, again, built on the 3 modules. They start as a basic ranged modules. Their traits are +1 save and +2 movement, because I want to get them to be a little faster, just to show that they're elves. And their 3 abilities are Hatred of Personnel, Extra Range, and Piercing. And then in the back, we got the 2 Hydras. Each of these Hydras are multiple modules apiece. Part of the cool part about this game is you just put the number of modules on stuff that you want. Because this is a bigger model, it is going to count as the size of an entire one of these squads. So they are 3 brute modules each. For their traits, they're going to have +1 fighting skill and +1 save. Then the abilities are self-healing, clobber, and natural claws. All this together comes in at 31.5 points. So now let's go over to the other side of the board and see what I brought. I decided to be silly. I went with gnomes because we've been seeing a lot of gnomes in our monthly painting contest, and I kind of missed the little buggers. So I have 3 big squads of gnomes, and again, we're built on the module system. I made these out of 6 modules apiece, basic melee modules. Their traits are +1 save and +1 fighting skill, and then they have 6 abilities because they are 6 modules apiece. They're going to be Savage, Tackle, Masochist, Defensive Training, Shielding, and Spikes because of these little tiny spears they have. And then we have a Slingshot over here. This is 2 Ordnance modules. They are going to be counted as a vehicle/monster. Its traits are +1 save and +1 dexterity, and the abilities are Long Shot and Anti-Vehicle. Then we have a unit of frogs over here. These are 3 beast modules with +2 to move and +1 fighting skill. For their abilities, we went with Clobber, Tail Strike for the tongue, and Natural Claws. And then they have a support module up here. This guy with his flying underpants. He is the fast support module. So he gives this whole unit flight/agile. And I figured, they're frogs. They could use it. So he has all of the traits and abilities of this unit, plus he knows 2 powers, which are Curse and Disrupt. And then finally over here, we got the Badgers. Each of these guys counts as 1 module apiece. They are going to be playing as Breachers. Their traits are +1 fighting skill and +1 save. And abilities, we have Natural Claws, Scales, and Pack Hunting. So that's it for the army intros. Let's take a look at where the objectives are. So we are going to be running the basic mission, and in the basic mission, you have 5 objectives set up right in the middle of the board. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then as we deploy, or after we deploy, we're going to scatter these, and I'll show you how scattering works in Mass Brutality. It's actually surprisingly simple, and I don't know why anyone else doesn't use it. Because, Mass Brutality is not trying to sell you to bespoke dice. Then we have to choose the realm that the fight is taking place. And because of we got sci-fi stuff here, I chose the towns and cities realm. And all that does is changes what the tables are. Whenever you touch objectives, bad things can happen. So we're going to go ahead and deploy. And the way you do it is how we've seen other places. We each do 1 unit at a time until we're done. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is this game uses D10s. Now that we're all deployed, it is time to scatter these objectives, and the way you do that is you roll a D10 right next to it, and you use the point on the D10 to give you your direction, and the number to give you the inches. So this objective is going to go 4 inches this way. So the corner's going to end up here. So we're going to do that with everything across the table, and be right back. So we scatter the objectives. We have 1 that just straight up landed on a unit here and a unit there, and then 1 that should have gone off the board, but we stopped it right before it did. So now there's going to be a lot of starting and stopping on this one as we refer to the rule book. We're going to go into turn number 1. So because me and the gnomes finished deploying first, we're going to get the first activation of the game. And what I'm going to do is, because this unit is already standing on this objective here, all of our objectives are just going to be scavenged points just to keep things a little bit simple. But what we are going to do is we are going to roll 1 dice per module to see what happens on this objective. So what we're going to do is we're not going to move because we're already here. We don't need to. And then we roll 1 dice per module. So we have 6 dice. And we're going to be looking for a 2 through 9 to score a point. And on a 1 or 10, something interesting is going to happen. So here we go. Hey, no bad numbers. So that's going to be 6 points for the gnomes. First activation for the Dark Elves. The Hydra is going to use its move activation to go forward 6 inches. And there is nothing within charge, pilot, or melee range, so he could just use an advance. And to advance, he rolls an additional 1 to 10 inches by rolling a dice, and it can only go as fast as the maximum move value of the model. So go ahead and roll a dice. So you get another 4 inches of movement. Now, next activation for the gnomes, this unit here, they're going to move that direction towards the Hydra. So we're going to be able to go 6 to there. And now going through the whole list, we're going to use the charge, pile in, and melee. We're going to try to charge there. We're looking for a 4-inch charge. And we're going to fail. Only got a 2. So nothing yet. The Dark Elf unit is going to move to the objective. So now on the objective, he is going to roll to see how many points he gets. He's going to interact with it. So he's going to get 3. And again, nothing bad happens. Next unit of gnomes here in the middle. There's going to be nothing close enough for them to fight. So we're just going to go ahead and do an advance already for them. They can only go up to a maximum of their movement. So even though I rolled 8, it's going to be a 6. So this whole unit's going to go 12 inches and then just be done with their activation. Putting them there as they went woo all the way around. Next unit of Dark Elf fighters moving forward to there, and then they are close enough. They're going to try to get a charge off here. They're looking for a 3. Well, it's a 3, so we're going to move him in. He can now pile in up to half of his movement, which is 8 inches, so he gets a 4-inch pile in. So we're looking for something like this. And then the gnomes get to pile in 3 inches. So now we get to do the fighting stuff. Each unit must roll a number of d10s equal to the total number of attacks from all of its intact modules who either are within base contact or within base contact of a module from their unit that is in base contact. So all 3 of his are going to be in base contact. I'm going to have 1, 2 in base contact, and then I have a third one that is in base to base with those 2. So he's got 3, I got 3. So now we go in order of initiative steps. The initiatives are strike first, normal, and strike last. The Dark Elves have strike first, so they are going to be going first. So each one of his modules has 2 attacks, plus 1 attack for being the charger. And he is trying to roll equal to or less than his fighting skill value to get a hit. His fighting skill is a 6 right now. He's going to need to get less than a 6. A 6 or less, I mean. And we get to re-roll this one because that one's good and cocked. For 3 hits. This is one of those games where rolling high is not a good thing. Now it's time to roll a save for the gnomes. Roll a d10 for each, so there's 3 hits. Have to roll equal to or less than the saving unit save stat. Which I don't roll any of them. So losing those 3 hit points means that I lose 1 module, which is 3 models. So bip bip bip. Time for the gnomes to fight back. We have a fight skill of 6, but because we have Masochist plus 1, because we've lost a module, means we're looking for a 7 or less. 1 critical success, 2 critical fails, and then 2 more hits. So because of the critical hit, that counts as 2 hits, and because the unit is armed, that counts as lethal damage. So that's 2 unsavable, and we're going to have 1 roll on the chart. Now the elves need to make 2 armor saves. Looking for a 3+. Or a 3 or less, which they failed. So it's going to be 4 damage total and a lethal hit. Because they're spears, we're going to call them piercing, rolling on the chart. We get a 7, which is blinded. So at the end of the combat, he loses 4 hit points, which would be 1 whole module, and then he has another module that is down to 2. So now our frogs over here, they are 3 beast modules, and with all the different upgrades and the support attached to them, they have a 14-inch move. So they're going to launch themselves forward at that unit on the objective here. Then they're going to attempt to charge 3 inches. They're going to be able to get in there. So going through the initiative again, we go strike first, which the Dark Elves have. They're looking for a 6 or less. Getting 4 hits. Frogs need to save on a 3 or less. They save 1. So they're going to lose 1 whole module. So the beasts, they have 1 attack per module. I have 2 left. And then we have our 1 support module has 1 attack. We have Clobber and Natural Claw. So that was a big number there. 2 criticals, they count as 2 hits. Plus they are armed, so these will be lethal hits. And because they're 1s and 2s, with Clobber, that means that they're going to get -1 to their armor save. Looking for a 1 or 2 to save. So they're going to take a 5 total. At the 2 rolls in the damage chart, we have an 8 and we have 2 8s. They're in agony. And then we have a tail strike. Looking to hit on 6s. We got 3 hits. Saving out of 3. They save 1. So the Dark Elves lost 6 hit points, which will be 2 whole modules, meaning that they are down to 3. Plus they get an agony token. And then the beasts, our little frog boys here, lost 1 module. And that's how that ends up. Next activation, the Hydra is going to move forward at 6 and is going to attempt to charge 2. Nope. Over here we have the Badgers, who are breachers, and they are currently 8 inches away. They have a 6-inch movement. We're going to go ahead and do the charge roll, which is, oh, it's off camera, which is a 3. So that means they're going to go 9, charging into the Hydra. So now our Brute Badgers have 2 attacks apiece because each of them counts as 1 module. They have Natural Claws, which means they re-roll unmodified rolls of 10. Pack Hunting, where it's within 6 inches of 1 or more allied unit, it gets +1 to its fight skill. And we have those little gnomes that are right next to them. So +1 to the fight skill. And then they get their +1 attack for charging, which I realized I just forgot for the frogs. Fight skill is a 7 because of those assisting gnomes. Rerolling any 10s, there's no 10s here. So we end up with 6 hits, 2 1s, which counts as 2 hits each. So 8 total. Hydra saves on a 4. We got 1, 2 saves. It's going to take 4. Now it fights back. Being 1 module down, the Hydra's down to 4 attacks, hitting on a 7. For 2 hits. But he has the Natural Claws, so he gets to re-roll that 10. We've got 2 hits. With 1, 2, that clobber is going to reduce the save to a 5, and then the other save is a 6, so they're going to take 1 damage. So the Hydra's down to 6 total hit points. One of those Badgers, since they are modules all on their own, is down to 2. And now, because the Hydra is a brute, the Badgers make an ordered retreat 6 inches in any direction that the Hydra chooses. So which way you want them to go? That way. Okay. So the Badgers fall back 6. Interesting. Next, we got the crossbows. They're going to go forward 8 inches. And then they are going to fire on the Badgers up underneath that drill platform. So now those crossbowmen are going to fire off 2 shots per module, and they're trying to get higher than the dexterity of those Badgers, which is a 6. So they're looking for a 7, 8, 9, or 10. So we got 4 hits. One of those is a 9. The unit has piercings. So this one's going to be at -1 save. So trying to find under a 5. That is a pass. And the rest are on a 6, so they end up taking 1. Knocking that one Badger down to 1. The only thing the gnomes have left is a slingshot, so it's just going to go bloop to there. And then we're just going to do an extra move because it can't actually see anything else. And I rolled that right off screen. That ends up being a 0, so they're going to get 6 more inches of movement. Put themselves right there. And that is it for the gnomes. Now we're going to go ahead and move all of the elves just to get through this a little bit faster. So things that happened in that turn, this unit of crossbowmen was back there. They charged into the frog boys. Didn't do any hits. The frog boys attacked back, but these guys saved all of their armor saves. Over here, those guys climbed up to the top and fired down here, taking out the 1 wound left on that Badger. And then this unit down here, they tried to come forward and charge into those gnomes, but they didn't roll high enough. Moving on to turn number 2. First activation, that Hydra's going to charge in there. So let's do some piling in. Hydra's attacks. 6 hits. Saving for the gnomes. They take 3. Gnomes attack. 6 hits. Save on a 4. It takes 5. Hydra's down to 1 wound. Hydra's down to 1. These guys go away, and then I have to make a ordered retreat. Which way you want to move? That way. Okay, so then the gnomes will fall back 6 inches to there. Next activation, these badgers, they are going to charge in here. We are for, well, I mean, technically I could roll a 1, but we don't. So, yep, they're in. 6 attacks from the badgers, looking for 6 or less. We got 4 hits. Hydra saves on 4. That's going to do it for the Hydra. Smash! So we got those Dark Elves underneath the bridge. They are going to try to charge this unit. They're going to be close enough, so just roll dice. They roll the 1. They're going to get there and fail. And the reason why is you have to stop 2 inches away from the enemy, and then you have to roll dice to see how far you get, which he is going to be 2 inches away. So even if you are right up on them, you can still fail a charge. Next, we're going to have this unit of gnomes continue beating on this unit of Dark Elves. Dark Elves have strike first. Look for 6 or less. Ooh, they got 3 crits and a regular, so that's going to be 7 hits. 7 saves on a 3. 1, so we lose 2 more whole modules. Their attacks back. We have 1 crit, so that'll be 6 hits. Saving on a 3. Losing 4. So that will be this module gone. And this module down to 1. And then the gnomes only have 3 left. Crossbows moving to the front. And then shooting at those gnomes down the bottom. 5 up to hit. 3 hits. 1 save. So we lose 2. This unit of gnomes right here, they are going to inspect that objective. And we get 4 more points. No 1s, no 10s. Never mind, we can't do that because that unit is right there. So what they are going to do is they are going to turn and charge. Ha! Wait, I gotta roll. Yep. Ha! So now a bunch of attacks here, looking for a 6 or less. So we have 7 hits. One of them is a critical, which is 2, which means we're gonna have 8. Saving on a 3. They're gonna take 5 hit points. And this is where Uncle C thusly informs me that he has strike first. Good job, stay on top stuff. Roll your damn dice. 3 hits. I failed all 3. We're gonna say that's a wash. So 3 here, 5 here. That's how it's gonna end up. The unit of crossbows over there is gonna interact with the objective at the scavenge point. She rolled directly underneath. 999, so he gets 3. Again, nothing crazy. All right. This unit here, since the score is all tied up, they are going to try to do the same thing on their objective. We're going to angle it this way. We've got 1, 0, and 1, 1. Uh-oh. What we end up getting is a building collapse. And ta-da. So this building is the closest building. I'm going to roll directly on top of it. Let's see where it goes. That way. Uh-oh. So scattering in that direction, what the rules say is the building falls over. So it literally goes bang and kills all the modules underneath. It looks like our ordnance is definitely gone. And we're going to say one of these. Uh-oh. So now that Hydra over there, go ahead and roll a dice. We're going to charge with it. It's going to get a 4. So what we are going to say is that these guys are going to crunch down here. And this Hydra is going to go here. Why? For the lulz. That's why. Hydra goes in, looking for a 7 or less. 7 hits. Beast dudes looking for a 3 or less. Take 4, which means they lose another module. Now they fight back. Looking for 7 and then a 6. So we got 1 hit. Save it on the 4. And it fails, so it takes 1. Now time for the tail strike. 1 hit. And it fails, so it takes the whole whopping 2. So the Hydra's going to go down to 7 total wounds on it, 2 modules plus 1, and then we are going to lose 4 of the froggies. And then I have to make a disorganized retreat of 6 inches.
Towards your camera.
Towards the camera. And they're going to be facing that direction. Last unit activation for these guys is the frogs. We're going to activate, we're going to go over here, and then we are going to roll dice on this objective because I'm still trying to untie the game. And there's another 0. So our closest building is this one. And it just plooped this way. and it disappears. So that unit L is going to roll for that objective, the one module of fighters left. Go ahead and roll that dice. And, oh no, it was off camera. But we got another 0! And closest to them would be this building here. So go ahead and roll dice. Where's the scatter?
Right on the Hydra.
Crash! So the building and the Hydra go poof. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. Okay, so this... Oh, this... I need to have like that... on the background of this. This is turning into something crazy. Okay, so those crossbowmen are going to fire at those frogs. 6 shots. Looking for a 7 or higher. Nothing. Oh, wait, no. That's 0. It counts as a 10. 1 save. And they pass. Last activation, turn number 2. Those elves right there are going to fight those little gnomes. 3 attacks. 1 hit. That's 1 dead gnome. Gnomes attacks, looking for 6 or less. We got, well, that was going to be 4. Saving on 3. They're going to lose. That's enough to take out the last wound. Boof. That's the end of turn number 2. So the start of turn number 3, that unit of crossbowmen, they're going to activate there because we're still trying to break the tie and roll right here. And it happens again. Oh, Lord. So we're going to roll it like right here. Which way she go? Okay. So... yeah, yeah. But this is turned into like city destruction game. I mean, at this point, the table's starting to look a little empty. We're gonna keep going though. Should I do it? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 left. I'm gonna do it. Let's see what we get. And again. And again! Oh, okay, okay. So closest is that one. Where's it go? Yeah. This unit is doing more damage than, oh my god. Okay. The game's still tied. It's still tied. We're just trying to score points. And the reason it's still tied is because if you roll a 0, you don't actually score those points.
And then interact.
Well, you can't because I'm too close.
Then I'm going to shoot you.
Okay, so there we go. Let's do some shooting. 6 shots, looking for 5 or more. Okay, we got 5 hits. Saving on 3 or less. 1 save, 2 saves. So we lose a whole nother module. 1, 2, 3. Just entirely to break the tie. Okay, again, this is, I mean, the closest would be this one, I guess, and just, yeah, it falls that way. So again, no points scored. And there's more than 6 inches here, that's why we could do this. That one module is going to roll. Say, they got a point! So now, the Dark Elves are up by 1, score 6 to 7. Last unit I got left, these guys, let's roll. If I get anything more than a 1, they get, well, technically it'd be a 10. They're going to charge into that unit's, ow, there, as I get poked by my own gnome. The gnomes attacks.
Strike first.
Crap! Never mind. I guess the elves get to fight. 2 hits, 2 saves, 1 fail. That's going to be enough to knock me down a whole module. Hitting on a 6 or less. Hey, we got 5 hits. My fingers are so cold I can't feel them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be it for them. So it was the 1, and then we just started using the models themselves as wound counters. There you go. Then last activation, turn number 3, them Dark Elf crossbowmen are going to fire at the froggies. Looking for 7 or higher. Got 2 misses, so that'll be 4 hits. Saving all 3 or less. None of them. Wait, one saves. But, yeah. Still enough. 1, 2, 3. Being that it is the last turn, this squad here. Ha! They rolled a 1. Instead of a 0, what's the 1 mean? Hold on. Oh, no.
What?
So on that 1, the building didn't fall over, but this objective is removed from the board. Oh, wonder. I'm probably getting stuff wrong, but it doesn't matter. We're having silly fun at this point. Over here, they are just going to shoot into those gnomes. Looking for a 5 or better to hit. 2. Failed them both. Takes those out, and then they are my last unit on the board. They're just going to charge in here. Wow, little gnome battle cry. Looking for 6 or less. Got 4 hits. 3 or less. So he takes 1. Oof. And with that, the gnomes have no more units on the board to activate, and the elves, they're winning. So the score at the end is going to be 6-7 for a dark elf victory. So that was Mass Brutality. I'm going to link down in the description the Brutality channel so you guys can see more battle reports for Mass Brutality, the skirmish version of Brutality, and all the other different versions that he has of the game. Go check out Scott at Let's Talk Tabletop. Go ahead and sub over to his channel. He always has some pertinent thing that he's talking about this week. Always a pleasure. As far as how the game went here, we had fun with it because things got crazy. It's like we were playing, City Destruction Simulator, which anytime oddball rules can come in, we love it. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more Mass Brutality on the channel. I hope you guys are out there having fun playing whatever you're playing, and I hope you're having a great time slapping paint on stuff, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.